All right, got everybody back. Let's see, going live on Wimkin. And looks like we are good. And closing that window, and we are on Rumble. Sorry, folks, what happened was I was closing a window, and it overlaid on my finish button on my programming. So it shut the feed down. And unfortunately, it asked you to confirm, but I double-clicked, so I hit yes, and then I hit yes again. So we were looking at this guy's profile on Wimkin who watches TV and comments on it. So I want to answer him because he was, disrespectful. Here it is. I have watched more Trump rallies than this guy has ever watched. Trump hasn't said anything new in 8 years.
No.
So when it comes to his standard speech, it's the same speech. Now, the first 15 minutes usually is something new. He'll talk about the assassination. He'll talk about an appointment. He'll talk about news of the day. But then he just rereads. And I could probably recite it better than you. So I don't know what that has to do with my sexual disposition. But, I appreciate you'll never watch my show. In fact, I'm really happy you won't watch my show. So you continue to suck on that tit and watch Donald Trump recite the same old stuff every day. And occasionally we will have him on. And we enjoy watching Trump. But I have no desire to watch Trump 24 hours, 7 days a week. Sorry. Yeah. So has MAGA come back at all, Liv?
I got to get back on live on Wimkin. So.
I'm just going to go check real quick and just make sure. Not that, it's that big of a deal. But I really, let's see what he said. Oh, Dennis Isidore. People are getting on him now. He goes, MAGA, hey, my friend, not sure why you got triggered, but we got to avoid infighting, my friend. So yeah, go see MAGA over on there. He didn't reply. He's still watching. He has more viewers than he's ever had, though. I'll tell you that much, which is kind of funny. Yeah, it's cool. All right, Olivia got her pee break in. Everyone's happy. All right, here we go, folks. Real quick, I know we just got back, but we're waiting for people to come back on. We're going to pop the commercial on here. The Documents of Freedom box, which Leroy will be happy to show you, is back. It is in stock. We have a relationship with Arcadia Publishing. I am going to put all 75 books, and we are going to do, I think, a bundle and do all the books. I mean, and there's amazing stuff from 4th of July to Paul Revere's Ride, to the Thorogood Letters, to Thomas Edison Bible, to Declaration, Magna Carta, Articles of Confederation, Gettysburg Address, Emancipation Proclamation, hundreds of books. And they're amazing. So we're going to try to get them all up on the site. Here we go real quick. Just take a quick watch, and then we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, Donut for MA Nation? Matthew Spear from the Donut for MA podcast. It's interesting. I've had these books for 3 years now. And I've got, 3 independent books of the Declaration, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution of the United States that I inherited from my mother. Leather-bound, beautiful. And they're older books, 1935, 1937, something to that effect. I'll show them on the show, but people see me reference these nightly on the show. And the interesting thing is I've never really put 2 and 2 together. We have a website, and someone asked last night, hey, how the heck do I get those books? Where do I get those books? And it dawned on me that I should provide these. So they are now on sale. They're beautiful books. They're leatherette books. They're hardback, which is nice. They don't have a dust cover or anything. I've used these, like I said, ad nauseum, and they hold up and they stand the test of time. They've got pictures of the framers, founders, inside the books. They make references with different colors to kind of explain things in a little bit of a simpler way or give some context. But these books, word for word, are the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and the Declaration of Independence. They are absolutely stunning. You get each book individually for $15.99 over at thedumshow.com. We also have a bundle over there where you can save $5 on all 3 for $44.99. And last but not least, the pictures you've just been looking at and the video is the Documents of Freedom, custom made by PFC Flags, comes in an amazing, beautiful, decorative box for for $64.99. Stop by thedumbshow.com and take a look. They're available right now. So to answer Christine's, she says, Matt, my husband ordered coffee the other day, and if you have not sent it, being Friday, I'm sure it's already shipped. But the coffee comes from Wisconsin, and the books come from my house. So I have like 16 different distribution centers all over the United States. Coffee, shirts, hats, hoodies, coffee mugs, and then are separate from the books. So like we run some of the stuff out of my house. We run some of the stuff out of 7 different states across the country. And then coffee is Wisconsin. So I can't, unfortunately. Even if I put on the same order, you'll have to pay shipping and handling for that. So my recommendation is just do that. If you want to, we can figure it out. I'll refund your shipping or something. But if you're going to make the order, I'd make the order. And they probably already shipped. Go ahead, Leroy.
So when you get these in, they come in this amazing wooden box, right? And you can see that this is actually really, really high quality. On the sides, there's these 3D stars that are cut in that have some depth to them. The inside is painted as well. And so this is a really nice holder. And I was just, while Matt was going through the commercial there, I always listen to it. But you get all 3 books. And just, by happenstance, while he was going through the commercial, I just happened to crack open this book. And this one is the Declaration of Independence. When you open this, there is the actual, copy of the Declaration of Independence right there. Now, I only say that to say this, that when Matt was going through the commercial, I just happened to flip on page 4 and 5 of this book. And how many of us have ever seen, what's the name of that movie with Nicolas Cage? National Treasure, right?
Yes.
I love that movie.
And that actual quote is on page 4 and 5. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government. That's in here. Again, it's on page 4 and 5. So this is a really, really nice gift to give to anybody who cherishes their freedom.
Yeah, it really is. And people have been so positive about it. It's nice to see. I want to go into people who call themselves Republicans who aren't. See, people have lost their way with what a conservative is and what a Republican truly is. And there are really only 4 or 5 simple things that make a Republican and make a conservative. One is the state government is always preferable over federal. That taxes should be at the most minimalistic level as possible to run and sustain a balanced, regulated budget for the government. That the government should respect the Constitution above all else.
Right.
And that the individual rights of the freedom are more important than the collective. That is truly as simple as I can make it. There's nothing about abortion. There's nothing about gun rights. There's nothing about whatever. It's smaller government, less spending, strong borders, strong military defense. And that's it. It's not difficult to recognize a real conservative. There is a person named Adam Kinzinger who is these people continue to say they're Republicans, and all they do is trash the Republican Party. And there are plenty of them on Twitter. I want you to listen to Kinzinger. He's probably one of the most detestable human beings ever because he's faking being something, telling you and gaslighting you, and liberals love him. The same thing with Liz Cheney and Mitt Romney. They're not Republicans in no way, shape, or form. They're opportunists. They are officially uniparty. Same thing as Swalwell. Same thing as Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, McConnell. They're the uniparty. Lindsey Graham. And they are not separated. There are very few conservatives left, and there's very few liberals left. It is either extreme right or extreme middle neoconservatives and neoliberals, or far left. There is no more conservative and liberal minds truly in government. Now, there's people like Nick Freitas, who absolutely is more conservative than anyone on this panel and probably anyone in this show. And Nick is a beautiful and amazing mind, but that's few and far between. You get my point.
Very few.
If you have not watched Nick Freitas, do it now. Nick is awesome. Yes, super smart. Probably one of the smartest representatives that we have. Love him. Got to get him on the show. But here's Adam Kinzinger, and he is just a skin suit.
Strength there.
All he does is talk shit about Trump. Here's the video.
Only purpose is himself. Donald Trump is a weak man pretending to be strong. He is a small man pretending to be big.
I would love to see him get shot and act how Trump did.
Whoa.
Just
Well, you can't say that.
Jeez.
Olivia, what are you doing?
I'm not.
Do you want the Secret Service at our house?
No,
What
I was making an example.
No,
Sorry.
you just made a death threat.
Didn't mean to make a death threat. That was not my intention.
That's what you did.
My intention was he's saying that Trump is weak
Libby,
and not a strong man. So I apologize.
Walk it back.
I did not mean to say that. I apologize.
Okay. Yeah, you can't say stuff like that. Debbie, I know what you meant, but you cannot say stuff like that.
Got it.
Yeah, you said struck match, and that was bad enough. I mean, people always go, God, I'm so worried about what Matt's going to say. I'm not the one. You say that. You can't say that. You can't say things like that, sweetie. Especially
things. You can say things like, "I'd love to see him go through what Trump went through."
Right. But
Right.
when you say, sorry, honey, I mean to jump down. I just had no desire to have the Secret Service knock on the door
I get it.
because they're going to take me, not you. So, all right, let's listen.
Well, they should.
Yeah, and by the way, 6'4", 6'5", whatever Trump is now, and he's a big dude. He is a big man, you moron.
He's a faithless man pretending to be righteous. He's a perpetrator who can't stop playing the victim.
Wow.
He puts on quite a show, but there is no real strength there. Whose only purpose
Just described the Democrat Party to the T.
Dude, you say you're a Republican and you're at the DNC riling them up. You're not a Republican. Listen, everybody, for someone, okay. There's a lot of times you can say, "Hey, Matt, don't get upset," or "Hey, Matt, don't come down too hard." Don't tell me what to say to Olivia.
Are people saying stuff?
I know the Secret Service, and I know what gets called. Okay, so I know better than you. Knock it off. Okay, I take that shit seriously, and I will not have my channel deplatformed. Whether it was Leroy said it, I said it, Olivia said it. It was an innocuous statement, but it needed to be corrected immediately, because if you understood the software programs that Leroy and I are aware that exist, trust me when I say that. Trust me when I say this. That's going to be on somebody's desk tomorrow. Let me say it again. That is going to be on somebody's desk tomorrow. So the statements following up where Leroy and I are like, whoa, that immediately is going to be read after that. So let's everyone calm down. We know what Olivia meant.
I'm not upset about him correcting me. You've been on longer than I have. You know the rules better than I do.
You cannot just say, there's certain things you don't say, and you didn't mean to, but it doesn't mean that I'm not going to jump down and try to.
I get it.
Listen, a lot of it is just think about it. Okay, put two and two together.
Yeah.
Why would I react that way, folks? To protect. That's what we're doing. All right. So now that we've established that Kinzinger doesn't need to have any demise, that would be a good thing. What are your thoughts on people like that? You see it all the time. You see Lindsey Graham. He's an opportunist, right? In 1 minute he's pro-Trump. The next minute he's talking crap about Trump. wants to go ahead and fund Ukraine until the cows come home. This guy is a uniparty shill, and a lot of them are. How do we get people like that out of office? How do we get them out? Because we can't, because we don't necessarily live in his district. But what's it finally going to take for the American people to say, you know what, enough? We need a fresh start.
That's a really good question. And I think part of the problem with that lies in the fact that you are describing someone who is a constitutionalist at heart, right? And if all Americans were constitutionalists, we would all be Republican. And I think that there's that pendulum swing that has to happen, right? So when you have someone like that comes on, and maybe they come across too far right in the beginning, I don't know, or too far left, what they have to do is compromise what they say on screen, much like what Kamala's doing right now, to try and win some of that middle part of the base, right? And if they can convince some of the independents, some of the people who may not realize, right, that the Constitution is kind of it's a Republican value. For the people that don't realize that, then they have to be told, oh, well, I want, some level of legalized abortion, or I want some level of legalized welfare. And that's how you win some of those middle voters. In his case, he's a Republican who it sounds like he's trying to appeal to kind of a left-leaning audience. I don't know. But he definitely, I hate that flip-flop, right? It's gross.
He's Tulsi Gabbard. He can't win in his own party. He got termed after 2 years. He got termed and kicked out of state legislature. So he flipped parties in order to be relevant. It's the same thing Tulsi Gabbard did. I mean, these people, when they can't make it, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to switch my brands. I'm going to take off Pennzoil and put on Quaker State. And people say, well, stop voting for them. That's an easy thing to say. You have to educate people.
Right. That's the key.
If I had a Fox News channel, I would spend one night every single evening focused on one legislator from both sides of the aisle who has done absolutely nothing. And I would give you their record, and I would rate them, and I would say, this is what they say, and this is what they do. And people like Thomas Massie, who everyone says is the most Republican and loyalist to the Constitution, his voting record was 51% to the other side of the aisle. He is absolutely votes against Israel on everything. He has aligned with the Democrats on censorship and speech for social media. Thomas Massie's voting record before he was running for office this term was running like a 51%. Now he's like an 84%. But that's because it's an election year. And everyone's like, Thomas Massie, he's the greatest constitutionalist ever. I'm like, Marjorie Taylor Greene's amazing. Have you looked at Marjorie Taylor Greene's voting record? Have you looked that she actually took $140,000 from Kevin McCarthy in a super PAC? Do you know she voted for McCarthy to remain speaker? Why don't we look at these people and really take, what's funny? Liz Cheney had a 93% conservative voting record. Liz Cheney, the biggest rhino ever. And if we're going to rate people on their voting record, well, then Liz Cheney was like number 11 out of senators and state legislatures as the most conservative and voted with Trump more than any other conservative up until the last year of his presidency. So it's amazing what these people say on the soapbox, but their records when they swipe their card is different. And if I was to host a show, it would just be shoveling the DC bullshit. And I would be calling out these politicians every single night. I'd be like, Virginia, we're going to spend a week on you. Maryland, it's your turn. Florida. And I would have a 365-day-a-year show where I tell the truth about these politicians and the things that they've promised that they've never done. That's the show we need. You have to educate people, but that's the problem. You can't. Because people like my show, we don't get on. We don't get mainstream because we don't sit here and tell Republicans everything they want to hear. We don't rally the base and go, Donald Trump's going to win. Buy my shirt and win a free truck. We try to keep it in reality here. Because in 2020, we were supposed to have that red wave that didn't take place, in 2022, and it didn't take place. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Since 2016, MAGA has won nothing. Not one race. Not one. Anybody who has run on MAGA, American First, election was stolen, and January 6th are political prisoners, those people all lost.
Not worked out for them. Yep.
0-17. Mohammed Oz, Herschel Walker, Majewski, Carrie Lake. Do you need me to go on? So I'm not going to sit here and blow sunshine up your ass and tell you that it's all, rainbows and kittens for Donald Trump right now. He's going to have a fight. He's going to have an electoral fight. That October surprise better be huge, because I will tell you, a lot of people think that the assassination attempt was supposed to deliver Donald Trump the presidency. It may very well cost him. He's been a changed man since. Whatever momentum he had, and it was amazing, he has gone back to the old Donald Trump of going after people's looks and going after their intelligence, and it's not going to work. Not in the national race. He doesn't learn. It works in a primary. It doesn't work. Go ahead.
We have to stick to policy. That's a left-wing tactic, is to attack people and to make fun of them. When we were talking about, there's memes that are out there. Some of these are true. Some of them are made up numbers, but most of them this kind of thing is true. Mentions at night one of the DNC, Trump 147 times, the economy 27 times, the border 8 times, crime
did
6,
this last night.
Prices 5, inflation 3 times, but Trump 147. And so that's, again, this is the same thing that Matt is talking about. What Trump is kind of falling back into is, instead of talking about policy, which we would kill the Democrat Party with, instead of that, he's attacking people personally. That's not a winning tactic.
But the RNC did it right. How many times did they mention Joe Biden, Olivia? The RNC.
The few times, the little bit I watched, I don't think they mentioned him once.
2 times. They said Joe Biden's name twice. Donald Trump said it once, and he even said, that's the last time I'm going to say his name.
Oh, that's right.
They didn't make it about Joe Biden. They made it about the policies. But see, here's the problem, is somewhere between here and there, the Democrats have become the salacious party of name calling and insulting and going down to just knuckle dragging petulance. And the Republicans want to talk about policy. It's really interesting when you think about it. I want to have some time, because this is probably the most important part of the show, and I really wanted Leroy and Olivia's opinion on this when it comes to walls, because I think that this is important. And
his kid.
Yeah, it's super important, and because it's going to tell you something. And Twitter's everyone's suppressing it. I got to find it. Here it is. I guarantee there's going to be music playing. They do this so you can't show, because everything, they're playing music in every damn thing. Here's the video.
Oh.
And it's going to play a couple times.
What a slimy piece of...
Now, you guys are watching his hand, but I want you to watch Gus's reaction. Now, there's 2 things. People are like, oh, well, you're going to show this, but then you made fun of him. I never made fun of him. I almost started crying when he was doing that, him and his daughter. His daughter reminds me of a lifelong friend of mine. And I thought of Leroy's son and other people's son who have Down syndrome, who've talked about them, or on the spectrum. Not Down syndrome, excuse me, who are on the spectrum and have, autism or social anxiety disorder or sensory issues with coping mechanisms over sensory overload. I was emotional when I saw it. I thought it was a beautiful thing, and I defended him.
Another one.
Yeah, Asperger's. I defended him. But watch Gus's face here. And if you're going to be upset about Republicans saying things, then watch his reaction. The kid says it all. Watch his face. Do you see it?
Yeah.
He
Like, I just screwed up and I'm
winces.
sorry.
Yeah, and he
Yeah.
winces. Watch his face.
Yep. What a
All right, let's get Olivia's reaction, and then I want yours, Leroy, because I now, Olivia, you can't say that they should shoot him.
I
Okay,
wasn't gonna say that.
go ahead, baby.
Guess I deserve that one.
No, you didn't deserve it. You made a slip. Listen. I jumped. This isn't a long enough time in between. I jumped your shit immediately to end any type of.
I get it.
Okay,
I know.
good. All right, good. Go ahead.
It's, to me, it looks like in this video that Walls wants to have the portrayal that he has the perfect family.
Yeah.
Because when your kids are doing something bad, I know I've grabbed the kids, their hands when they're doing something bad in public, and I've pulled them towards me and get over here, but it's, they're on a national stage and everyone's watching, and he wants to make sure his son is perfect and doing everything he was told to do. And apparently he's not walking in the right direction he's supposed to be walking in. So that's his get over here, but it's not needed. I mean, he's not doing anything wrong. He's not doing what our kids would do and run up and down the aisles and frickin' Walgreens and knock shit over and bump into people. He's just walking on the stage. So I don't think that was deserved or needed at that moment. What would have been better is for him to stop when he's holding his hand and to whisper in his ear and say, hey, come on over here.
Now,
we're supposed to walk over here. Not, that's a much more fatherly thing to do than grabbing his hand like that.
So I just heard that somebody said that another angle was trying to get his son not to walk into a teleprompter, but he didn't do that to his daughter.
There's
so
no
let's watch it.
teleprompters right there. That's dumb.
Hey man, I'm just.
I didn't see it, but
That's an excuse.
Well, let's find
A
out.
weak one.
Oh yeah, look at that teleprompter. Are you kidding me? That teleprompter is about eight feet,
Behind.
and it is way in front. If you've ever, I've used these personally, and I've watched enough of these. Let me see this one. Hold on. I'll retract if I'm wrong.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, it is in front. Yep.
There is no. Listen, heated satellite imagery, the depth perception and photographs is really easy for us. That's things way. It's not even on the stage. Those teleprompters are actually on a mobile kit because they've got to put a computer on it and everything, and it refracts. I've got one right here.
I would
Let's
have to
watch
say that's at least 6 to 12 feet away.
wait.
No.
Go
But,
back.
well, hold on a
Rewind it.
second. But that's what
Rewind
I'm
it.
saying. It's back. It's back recessed in the stage is what I'm saying. I know she walks in front of it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I know, but it's recessed in the stage. So let's see. We could be wrong. Now, I've seen teleprompters that are off the stage that are in like the little mezzanine area. I've seen them directly on the sides of the podium, and I've seen them, but they're not going to be directly on the sides. Let's watch it again.
In front, behind.
She's in front. He's
Okay.
in back. But I
Yeah.
don't see that. Hold on. I might see it. Let me see it.
Behind.
He's not close to that thing.
But if you look at her, she doesn't
front.
grab his hand until she walks in front of it, which means he was real close to it.
Yeah,
Because
he
there's
was.
A second. There's a
Oh, he
second.
was.
Yep,
I
he was
see it
going
now.
to jump into it.
See, this is why we watch. This is why I did not make any judgment.
No,
Okay,
that
now I
different
get it.
angle. Yeah.
He pulls him.
Yep, now I
Because
get it because his kid's going to
the
run
kids-
into it. I've done that
the
with the
kids
kids
wa-
before too.
See,
The
This
kids
is
walk
why
on
you-
either side of it.
Who said it? Hold on. I'm going to give credit. Somebody said it. Somebody said, Matt, Tyler Smith. I saw another video angle. It looked like he was trying to make sure he didn't walk into the teleprompter. Hold on. Let's make sure. He was going to walk right into it.
Yep. Oh, his head was going to hit it. And he's a big kid. So it's
Yeah.
a gentle tug's not going to get it. He's going to need a tug to get him off of that. So, okay, I retract my statement.
Yeah, because look, he ducks out of the way. He sees it. Watch his eyes. He sees it, and
Oh,
that's
he
why
wants
he
to
reacts.
back up. He goes to back up.
No. See, if you watch his eyes, he sees
Tries
it.
to pull him,
And
pull him
he
back,
closes his eyes because he thinks he's going to hit it. And Walls pulled him out of the way.
Okay, I take that back. Because if my kid was going to hit something or walk into something, I'd grab their hand and
damn
yank
right I
them
would.
too. So, okay, I take it all back, what I said. Okay, he is a good dad.
Listen, this is why it's so important not to, it doesn't matter because you watch that video and you want to assume the worst about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
What else is wrong? You guys, the truth about all of this is Donald Trump doesn't even know Kamala Harris. More than likely, they've never met. More than likely. And they scream and yell and throw mud and insult each other. And we all want to hate Walls because of what he did in the military. I went through his record. I told you after looking at it, I do believe he stole valor. Anybody who gets a slug coin stamped, that's stolen valor. I don't care. I've went over his record. I've shown you his DD-214 to me. But is it hang him and reprimand him in Rocks and Shoals and Uniform Code of Military Justice and throw him in Leavenworth? No, it's frowned upon. That's what I've told you. But this guy, his policies are what we should have gone after. Didn't I say those things?
Mm-hmm. I got a question. And I mean, I guess it's kind of off topic as far as Trump and Kamala. She was in the Senate when he was president, right? Or was she Congress? I don't remember.
She was Senate.
She was Senate. Do you think they ever met when he was president?
No.
No? Okay.
They weren't in the same room together.
Okay.
At any time. She was oversight committee. There's no way. Yeah. And well, they could have. But it's not like any of the Democrats were working with them. It's not like any of the Democrats. So my point is, even if they did, Donald Trump said it best with Hillary Clinton. They're like, well, why didn't you arrest her? He's like, I didn't see the point. And he even said afterwards, he's like, yeah, she's not that bad. They don't, he says about Nikki Haley, oh, she's smart. She's, it's just politics. But why is it politics? And why must we go after people's family? I thought it's horrible what Republicans are doing. The first time I saw this, my first reaction was it wasn't that big of a deal. Then I saw his face and I immediately thought the worst. And then Olivia thought the worst and Leroy thought the worst. And millions of other people are thinking the worst. And nobody is. Once I saw her across the teleprompter first, I realized it wasn't a recessed teleprompter. Now, do you see how she walks around and with one foot? She's on the edge of the stage. Watch. See that? Mm-hmm. She walks around one foot. I've been on plenty of teleprompters. They're either dropped down, and you can see it's up against the edge of the stage. That's usually where it is. But he was going to walk right, and there's probably a foot and a half of clearance where she walks around it. See, she moves her shoulder and walks around it.
Yeah.
He was going to walk into it head first, and Olivia's right. The key is when she goes and grabs him, she's parallel with him. See? So Walls pulled him out. He was going to walk right through it. Because you can fit three bodies, one on the left of it, one on the right, and one in the middle. He was going middle. He moved him. Now he's on the left, and she's on the right. Do you guys see it?
Yep.
I'd have done the same thing.
I would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because here's why. This, and if anybody, this kid loves his dad. He loves his dad, man. And there's no reason you can't love your father and have him be a complete asshole at the same time when it comes to his policies.
Hey, my kid loves me and I'm a complete dick.
Look at that, man. I mean, we've gone to a point where we go after each other's families and we attack each other, and people are attacking Barron Trump, and you're attacking this kid. This kid didn't do anything to us. And here's the thing. Hunter Biden is a piece of shit. There's no doubt about it. But I don't care about Hunter Biden. I don't care about these people. I want our taxes lowered. I want inflation to go down. I want our country to get back to where it was. I don't give a crap about Hunter Biden. He's not the president. Now, should he be held accountable? Sure, at the state level. But going after somebody's kid, like Ann Coulter did, is just sick.
Do you notice how? Oh, sorry, Leroy.
I would just I would disagree with you only to the point that because there's a level of hypocrisy there, when we're talking about gun control, when Joe Biden is talking about gun control, and Kamala is talking about being this ultra, you know, competent prosecutor, and then when Joe Biden's kid throws a gun in the he didn't throw the gun in the trash, but you get my meaning. He lied on a federal form, and somehow that's just swept under the rug. It's not that I'm after Hunter Biden for these things. It's that I'm after the hypocrisy of their parents for
Yeah.
allowing it to happen within the
Yeah.
family and then trying to institute rules for the rest of us.
I'm not talking about you, and I'm not talking that because that's not what everyone's doing. They want to see Hunter swing because of his dad. They want to see him burn because he made
that's not
millions of
right.
dollars. No, it is right. It is absolutely right. But it's not an emotion that needs to be tied with somebody's political disposition. Hunter Biden needs to pay. Hunter Biden is a sick son of a bitch. I've seen the laptop. I've seen the photos. I went ahead and showed them on the show. It's disgusting. There's under 18-year-old girls in there doing cocaine, doing drugs, and he's screwing that copious amounts of hookers and young girls. It is disgusting. Some of the things in there, it's repulsive.
When you said
and
hang, I took it literally.
Yeah, he needs to be held accountable for that. But we don't need to go ahead at the sake of our own values and morals towards holding people accountable for political tyranny and substitute it with that. Well, as long as Hunter Biden goes to jail, I'm okay with everything else. No, I'm not. And some people are like, damn it, Hunter's not going to go in jail. I'm like, yeah, but loaf of bread's still $8 a freaking loaf.
Right.
Yeah, but at least Hunter's in jail. What does that do for you?
It does nothing. It does nothing.
We need to get off this whole thing about like hit Walz. You need to hit him on his policy. Who gives a crap about everything else? Don't hit Kamala Harris and call her a bird brain or call her stupid. Hit her that she is a progressive socialist. These are the things that we need to hit.
Have you guys noticed that since Biden has dropped out of the race, I haven't heard Hunter Biden's
Well,
name.
of course
cares.
not. They don't
Yeah.
care. Nobody cares. They don't
anymore.
care anyway. Just like Trump, if he loses, they're not going to go forward with these. People don't care. People are watching the WWF soap opera. They're not watching what's important. We are distracted. We are not focused. We are little monkeys watching the freaking people in the zoo. But we're not watching that the zookeepers and the people making profits off of us. We're the monkeys in the freaking cage, folks.
Right. The only
We're not-
people that gave two shits about Hillary Clinton's email scandal after the fact, right after her loss to Trump, was people in the intelligence community. The people who were unaware of it, they did not care. Even if they were Republican, doesn't matter that she really did stand up these servers in her own home, right? That's not the point. The point was, oh, she's out of the race. Oh, I don't care.
Yeah. I want to see Biden pay for his crimes too, but not at the sake of the country, not at the sake of losing this election because we impeach him like I said we should not do, and I'm glad we didn't. Guess what? He's out. You got your wish. What did I say? The best thing for Donald Trump is Joe Biden to stay in. Worst thing for us, best thing for, and guess what's happening? I told you that. If they switch out to Kamala, watch out. Black woman. Why do you think I said Nikki Haley? She's not black, Mac. She's Jamaican. Those are semantics and nobody cares. Everyone thinks she's black.
Hey, Leroy, are you going to be on Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? What's up?
Oh, because Kevin wants to call in and ask some questions, but he's like, it's too far off topic tonight.
No,
so.
call in after this video. Here, let's watch the entrance. People want to watch Trump. So MAGA homophobe can watch this.
I don't think too many of you people have heard of him. He's very low-key. He's a very low-key person, but he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
God, I'm so sick of this shit.
The music. Just stop.
Wow, he got a good welcome.
Man, he got flares and everything. That's legit. I'm always dubious about the indoor pyrotechnics. It always
Yeah.
scares me.
Yeah,
You know?
well, I would be. Sorry, can I rain on everybody's parade? Supports transitioning of children, chemical castration of kids, and transgender acceptance. Anti-gun, late-term abortion, and you're celebrating him. Where have we gone as a party? Because he's going to give 3.5%, 3%, 2.5% of the votes. We celebrate him. We send fireworks up. We honor this guy. And he is 100% the enemy.
So what's better? RFK staying in and pulling votes from Harris, or him?
He wouldn't pull votes from Harris. He'd pull from Trump.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
So this helps Trump. This helps Trump. But at what cost? You know what I would have said if I was
Our
Trump?
dignity.
Trump is committing I'm just
Moral.
letting you know, he's committing a felony. Does anyone want to tell me what the felony is? You cannot trade an administrative position for an endorsement.
Oh, he did.
Yes. Publicly. RFK and his spokesperson said that an administrative position was offered and they are going to push back against the DNC. And because of what they've done to Bernie Sanders, what they did to him, what they've done to Jill Stein, what they did to Ron Paul, you cannot promise an administrative position for an endorsement. It is quid pro quo.
This is quid pro quo 3.0. Yep.
It's a felony, and Trump's going to get hit on it. They'll impeach him over it on day one if he gets in. Wait, Matt, you said we should celebrate Nikki for her votes. That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. That's not what I said. I said we should go ahead and have Nikki as vice president, but she doesn't believe in late-term abortion. She doesn't believe in transgender sexual mutilation of children and doesn't believe in confiscating our guns. So, yeah, grab a hold of Nikki Haley. She's also an independent thinker, a minority, and a Republican. You know, not a rhino like everyone says, because she's never done anything to vote for war. She's never done anything to vote against the Republican Party. What do you want? It's like making Adam Kinzinger on the ticket if he had 2% of the vote. What about Jill Stein? Should we go get Jill Stein? Maybe Bernie Sanders can rally some votes for us. He broke the law. Please quote me, Melanie, the right way. I never said we should trade votes. Nikki Haley was second in the primary. She had 23% to 19% of the national vote, depending upon the state she was in, on average. That's somebody who should be vice president because they bring the party together and expand the party. You don't put RFK and give. I didn't say you shouldn't get his endorsement. What you shouldn't do is send off fireworks for this guy like somehow he is a hero and play a song, "There Goes My Hero." Come on, y'all. RFK is against transitioning kids. Changed his position. He is absolutely okay. What do you think transgender rights are about? The number one topic right now is transgenderism. When it comes to sexual identity outside of the LGBT or inside the LGBTQ community, lesbians, gays, bisexuals have been accepted. The transgender argument is everything about indoctrinating children, reading stories in our schools, drag shows, removing the American flag and putting up the LGBTQ flag. How can he possibly support anything in regards to that? And if he has, why is he changing his topic? He also changed his stance on guns too. Do we really believe this? Because what?
Carrie had a good question. Was a deal made before RFK dropped out of the race or after?
It's semantics. I don't know. No, it was after his paperwork was filed today, and his vice president released that statement 2 days ago.
Got it.
Hold on. May 21st, Robert F. Kennedy says that the trans issue will not be a central part of his presidential campaign, and he opposes gender-affirming care. Okay, so here we go. I do my homework. You know me, I bring receipts. Are you ready? Great.
That's a flip-flop position, though, right?
No. That's what he's saying his position is. Okay? Let me read this just so I'm trying to get all the ads off. I don't think children can generally consent to repurposed castration drugs, puberty blockers, which have a permanent, irreversible effect, he said on Monday. This was May. People with gender dysphoria or want to change their gender deserve compassion and respect, but these terribly consequential procedures should be deferred till adulthood. Okay? However, media interviews has also said he believes parents should have the final say, but then said in December, told the conservative political commentator Patrick David, PBD, that minors should not be able to access gender-affirming care without permission, presumably from their parents. A longtime vaccine skeptic, Kennedy has frequently used the long-shot presidential bid to spread medical blah, 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 blah. Theories that certain chemicals in drinking water are causing children to identify as gay and transgender. He's also suggested that drugs known as poppers contributed to the AIDS epidemic. Surgery for minors is rare and is generally not recommended under standards. And is officially pivoted and deferred to adulthood, even though previous interviews and conversations, he didn't have a stance on the position or showed affirmation that he didn't know enough about the subject. So it's a pivot. Now, does that make him a liar? No, because when you learn things, you can change your opinion. That's okay. That's what education's about. But how many times are we going to allow him to pivot? He pivoted on guns. He pivoted on late-term abortions. He pivoted on this. So when are we going to stop and say, wait a second, how many pivots are this guy going to have before we say, he walks like a duck, he talks like a duck, he's a duck? I said it earlier today. When Tulsi Gabbard votes 5 years as a conservative on the record or has a show like Dave Rubin, I will support her. Until then, I'm going to be circumspect and hold her at arm's length.
Fair.
Okay, listen to me. You guys, it doesn't matter whether RFK was talking about it before or after or during. The Democrats are going to use that and open up an investigation for quid pro quo. Do you understand this, right? Even the sign of impropriety, Trump's going to be guilty. They brought up a 2014 case that was expired, and you expect them to follow the law? I think it's... Okay, Tina says he is against anything experimental being put now. Now he is. Now he has pivoted. He is. I just read the article to you. He's pivoted. You may not have heard that in RFK's speech today. See, Leroy, help me. Olivia, please, somebody help me. Because I can't seem to explain it. You're like, he wasn't born today. You understand there is a history of his policies going back decades. Why are we saying, well, today he said... I don't care what he said today. Of course he said that at a Trump speech today. What has he said in the past? Otherwise, why are we looking at walls? Why are we looking at walls? Why do we care? Well, it was in the past. Well, Kamala Harris is now, she's a Republican, right? Because she's saying all these great things. She's going to take care of the borders. She's going to lower drug prices. Well, she's a Republican now because she says so, right?
About 30, 40 minutes ago, when I was making that argument, right, we were talking about the people that compromise their position so that they can try and seize on that independent voter. Does anybody remember that? That's exactly what's happening here. He went from a kind of extreme position to, I didn't really mean it, right? Why? Because he's trying to appear more moderate.
I never said, okay, So now I got to read. No, I got to read these comments. Hold on.
There was a good comment.
So I know
A good
we're going to get to it
question.
in just one second. So what are you saying? We can't work with him because some of his ideas are so different than Trump's? I didn't say that. In fact, those words never came out of my mouth. I said we should not be setting off fireworks and playing "There Goes My Hero" when you've got veterans in the audience, when you've got people who have served in the audience who don't have legs or don't have an arm. Those are heroes. RFK Jr. should not have fireworks like it's a WWF event because I don't believe he aligns with the policies of our party. So work with him. I wanted him to work with Vivek. I want him to work with Nikki Haley. I want him to work with Democrats. Of course. Even bring him into the administration. What you don't do is offer him an administrative position before he pulls out of the campaign, and then your VP pick states that he was offered a position and they're thinking about endorsing Trump. It was the best kept secret in the world. And then 2 days later, he files the paperwork yesterday, and then he gets a position today, and there are fireworks, and there goes my hero, and they're giving him a red carpet experience for somebody who doesn't believe in what we do. So he's changed his position on transitioning kids. Fine. Ask him what he said about transgenders in schools, about drag shows for kids, about accepting the transgender community unabashedly, without question, pushing the books in the schools. His opinion was nil on those things. Find out his opinion on guns. Find out his opinion on abortions. Folks, I'm a constitutionalist. I don't want to hear somebody is going to tell my kid what to do without my knowledge and my permission. I don't want my guns taken. I don't want abortion to be pushed. Do I think that every single policy that he has disqualifies him? No, but it doesn't deserve a celebration like that. I'm sorry. I just don't agree. Go ahead, baby.
All right. So first, there was a really good question from Melanie on YouTube, but MAGA stopped by and he said, Matt Spear, I apologize for doing a drive-by on your show and for calling you a fag. I was just upset because Trump was holding a live rally in Glendale, Arizona, and I felt like watching your podcast while Trump was live would be like watching a U2 cover band when you have a ticket to the real U2 playing live. I think he's trying to think that maybe we've got a really good show and he wanted to watch it on our show.
Yeah.
So he's apologizing, and I really appreciate that.
Great.
So that was very nice.
Did Kennedy get up and speak? So, folks, I want the biggest amalgamation. If anybody needs to go. We're running late. It's Friday. I want the biggest amalgamation of people possible to represent the Republican Party. But I want people who are going to. Okay, I don't want people trading positions in the administration because they have a certain amount of votes. I want them to be the best qualified person. Isn't that what we say all the time? I want the best qualified person possible. I don't want a diversity hire. I don't want somebody who's just because they're rich, that they're going to put them in. Well, are we talking out of both sides of our mouth? This guy can do something. There's quid pro quo. I will give you an administrative position if you endorse me. That is illegal.
Did Obama do it with Hillary?
I have no idea.
That's something to look up.
No, it's not, because it wasn't done publicly. That's the point. Is you do this the right way. You do this the smart way, because
I get what you're saying, because the idea is that we are giving up some ground, right, in the idea that we might get a win out of this, and all it cost us was a little bit of our ethics. All it cost us was a little bit of our morals, right? And because we're able to shift around a little bit, right, and sacrifice some of that because of who we accept into a position of oh, well, if this person changed over to the party, oh, how many more votes could we have gotten if Adolf Hitler had joined the party? And if you brought an additional 1%, would you be in for it? No.
Right.
No,
And that's a
you
little
wouldn't.
extreme. I don't think it's a little
That's
extreme.
exactly
But
my point.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
exactly my. It is intended to be extreme so that people would understand the point of the argument.
Where am I missing it, folks? Help me understand. Where am I missing it? Because there's a lot of opinions on this, and there's a lot of passion about this, and it's worth it for me to stay on for a little bit longer. I'm really interested in what people are thinking, because Vice President, I'm trying to look all this up while I have it. VP for Kennedy came out and essentially said, we're very much considering backing Donald Trump and taking an administrative position inside the Trump campaign. We've had conversations, blah, 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 right? Then RFK resigns. And now you have something that looks improper. It's just the optics. And I want RFK. He didn't run as a Republican. He didn't run as an independent. He ran as a Democrat, couldn't get it, and then switched to independent. He's a Democrat.
Right.
But he's not a blue collar Democrat. He's not. He doesn't have conservative principles. I'm not sure where we understand, are not understanding this. So where am I missing it? Mel says, what position did RFK get offered? No idea. But you have the vice president of his campaign saying that they were offered a position. You have Trump saying it. Trump verbally said it. I'm going to go to Truth and read it.
While you're doing that, can I need to jump off. I'm actually not feeling that well. I think that shot is kicking my ass.
Get out of here and get some rest.
Yeah.
All right, Leroy.
I will see you guys in a little bit. Peace out.
Have
Love
a
you
good
guys.
weekend.
See you Monday. Have a great weekend.
All right, brother. You too.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
So let me just read what Trump said. We can. God, he posts a lot. My God.
Who?
Trump. He posts a metric ton. And I don't know if he deleted it or not. I just want the best people working in the campaign. Trump has made some choices before of selecting people that are not the best for his admin. And if we think that this is not going to be scrutinized and by the left, and they're not going to use this if he gets elected, I just want to be smarter.
Somebody came on Rumble and said Trump said to Dr. Phil today that they hadn't talked about a position, but he was open to it.
So that's fine, but that contradicts the statement of the VP.
Yeah.
And that contradicts Trump's own words on True Social.
Yeah.
So here we are now. Now here comes the spin. Charlie Kirk was fired up for the endorsement. What does that mean? Fired up bad or fired up good? Listen, I love that 2.5-3% of people might come to Donald Trump. That's great. What I'm saying is I just would not have given him that type of reception. I don't know how else. It's amazing, as long as we've been together, how people don't hear what I'm saying. I don't care about his policies, but it changes the way we should receive somebody. I don't think a lifelong Democrat should ever receive that type of welcome to a Trump rally. That's just me.
I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
I don't think Trump's attorneys will let him do that.
You know, that would be like us inviting Nick Fuentes over and rolling out the red carpet,
right,
and paying for his plane ticket and freaking taking
versus
him out
putting
to
him on the show.
Yeah, taking him out to a 5-star restaurant.
Great analogy.
And blah 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 blah.
Great analogy.
You know, rather we have a Zoom call on the show, and that's exactly what it is.
That's a really, and I'm certainly not comparing RFK to Nick.
No,
Fuentes,
I'm not either. I'm just making the
no, it's
analogy
somebody
so
who
people
we
understand.
disagree with vehemently, and we would certainly put on this show, but not give him fireworks and all that. Not everyone has to fully agree to work together. Just remember that. I didn't say that. See, y'all, nobody's, maybe, I'm trying to be really open. I think somebody should call in and tell me what my position is, because I don't think you're hearing what I'm saying. Liv, am I not explaining it well? Where am I missing it? Help me. You're good. You're good at telling me where I'm missing it, because I'm baffled why people are saying that I'm saying don't work with RFK, because that's not what I've said.
No, I mean, I don't think you've ever said that. I mean, I understand because we've been together for so long, and I can understand what you mean just by,
Well, can you just
the
what I
tone of your
said?
voice,
No, what I
but-
said, not what I mean. What I said. Can you repeat what I'm saying so I can hear it and see if it's coming out clear?
Not verbatim, no.
Can you give me a rough idea what I'm saying? Wow.
No. I can't. I know what you meant,
Well,
but
then
no, I can't.
You know what I meant.
Well, I know I know what you were talking about. I can't give you verbatim or what you were saying.
I don't want you to give me verbatim. I'm asking you what my overall message is about RFK in the rally today.
The overall message is that he shouldn't have been given such a welcome. That why are we welcoming somebody who doesn't align with our morals and our party? And I understand why Trump's doing it, because he wants all of the 3.5% of votes. I get that. But that just shows that Trump's got desperation right now if he's doing that.
I don't know if it's desperation.
So,
I'm
I
just
don't know.
I'm just questioning the listen, we're having a dialogue. I'm questioning the decision. As in, I don't know if I would set off fireworks and play music and make it seem like a hero is coming into the show. Maybe I'm just not getting it. Like, I completely think it's smart to limit your opponents in a national election. To me, I'm fine with that. I just think that he's the former president of the United States. He's the man, and I just think it makes Donald Trump look small.
I think I think I can understand where people are coming from. I think people at this point, whatever it takes to get Trump to win. And I think at this point, no matter what it is, they're going to be all for it. And this is going to help Trump. And so as opposed to looking at the whole story and looking at RFK's past and who he actually is as a person, they're only looking at it as he's bringing 3.5% of the vote to Trump, and that's huge. And that's all. They're looking at surface level. They're not looking actually at the full cup or the full whatever. So I think that's what it is, because people are celebrating this because it's big for Trump.
Yeah.
Because they are Trumpers and they have their whole heart and this is their passion right now, and they want Trump to win so bad that they're willing to do anything to get it.
So let me address a few of the questions. See, this is what we do this for. Okay? So everyone this is good. This is healthy, because it's good. Didn't we just learn something with the Tim Walz video?
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh my God, we were wrong.
Yep.
Okay, so I can be wrong about this. That's why we're discussing it, right? We're having a conversation. I just want to make sure people are representing my point, because I'm alone here. Like I want to make sure people understand. Thomas gets it. I hear you, Matt. I think it's a love affair for the Kennedys. Maybe.
I think,
But hold on a second.
I don't know.
Phoebe says, not everyone has to fully agree to work together. Just remember that. I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. I said, why are we celebrating? And then the other person said, hold on. Roxanne says, well, I was feeling pretty good. Now you two are bringing me down. No, I'm asking questions because I don't understand this. I don't understand this. This is supposed to be about Kamala Harris. We are supposed to be going after Kamala Harris. Sanders says it's almost like Fox getting in the hen house. He's acting like he wouldn't hurt a fly until he got in. There is more productivity when we don't have all the divisiveness and hate towards one another. There is no hate here. I'm not preaching divisiveness. RFK wasn't a fan of Donald Trump 2 months ago. Would you like me to read off some of the things that he said about Trump? Here's the video. Why don't you watch this? Listen to this. Okay. I always love to like hold things. Merry Christmas. Tell me what you hear.
I agree with you, man. Something's wrong with that whole system. And,
Go ahead and turn down your phone.
it's the doctors you find. Remember I said I want
My
to do
phone's
school
turned down.
buses.
All right,
I
just
agree
listen.
with you, man. Something's wrong with that whole system.
That's not my phone.
Mel, hold on, please.
Remember I said I want to do small doses. Small doses. When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that has like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it, right? It's this massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times. And then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago. And anyway, I would love you to do so. And I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you. And we're going to win. We're going to win. We're way ahead of the guy. And, he's interesting. It was very nice, actually. He called me. And he said, how did you choose to move to the right? So I guess that's, people see it, if I was looking straight on, right? He said, I said, I was just showing a chart. I didn't have to tell him the chart was on all the people pouring into our country, right? But I just turned my head to show the chart. And something wrapped me. It felt like a giant, like the...
So when you're talking about administrative positions, a month and a half, 2 months ago, it doesn't look very good, right? And the Democrats will use this. There will be a commercial out tomorrow about RFK. The Kennedys talking bad about him. The Kennedys are very popular with boomers, by the way. And boomers are the ones that Trump is trying to go after. He's losing with the boomers, a boomer electorate right now. So when you have the Kennedys tell you that this guy's crazy, and you saw what the Kennedys wrote, right? The Kennedys said he's a betrayal, a dishonor to the family. Did you guys read this, the Kennedy statement?
No, I didn't.
I know it's late, but it's important to me. You can go if you want.
Well, it's almost like it seems like the Kennedys are they're a very Democrat family.
No, they're liberals. They're lefty liberals.
And it's kind of like a black family saying you vote Republican, you don't vote Democrat. I'm going to disown you.
Mel, don't leave. But see, like I said, RFK will bring boomers over, not if the Kennedys are disavowing him. Because this is what it says. We want an American filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future. We believe in Harrison Walls. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story. You guys, boomers love Kennedy. Mel, make this make sense. And don't say that I said that it's not a political move to bring in votes. I never said that. I am saying he shouldn't have been lauded as a hero. That's my comment. What do you think, Mel?
No, exactly. And the only thing was it was a show thing to the final finale of the DNC fiasco, whatever, to change the narrative on the talking points on the news media, was to take away from all the joy and hope shit, whatever. This was a stage production. This
Sure
was
it was.
not.
Sure
this
it
was not anything like whatever.
Yeah.
Donald Trump doesn't trust JFK Jr. any farther than he can throw him across a fucking, well, sorry,
Right.
my F words. I'll put it in your swear jar. But yeah, no. This was this was and I give the Trump team credit, whatever, going, yeah, take the drama or the hope and joy and the Obamas and the whatever and turn it to a different narrative like right now and bring it back to home to where the real things need to go. So this is just going to add a little bit of another CNN, whatever, ABC, talking points, distractions, because that's what they're going to focus on now, but they're not going to focus on the crap that just happened to the DNC. So this is all smoke and mirrors. It's all political, like whatever, and I watched just a bit of it while I was listening to you at the beginning after Magga said, oh, well, you're not watching whatever. And then I watched the whole whatever, and RFK Jr. is doing this tiny little hand slap, whatever, when Donald J. Trump was saying, oh, yeah, he's second coming of Christ. Yeah, no. It was,
yeah.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's fake.
Right.
It's whatever. And Trump is playing the game. Trump is playing the game. He never promised anywhere on the tidbits that I listened to. He didn't promise him any kind of position.
I
whatever.
just showed you a phone
All
call
he
that
said
took.
was-
I just showed you a phone call where he's talking about him being a part of the administration.
No.
I just played it.
Oh, I couldn't hear that. I had
Well,
no
I know-
idea. I was waiting for RFK to say something. It was
all Trump, but Trump's
was
talking.
jumbled.
Trump's talking to RFK, and he's talking about him being. Thank you, Kevin. He's talking about being a part of his administration. He said it on True Social. The VP of Kennedy said it. That talking about taking a position with the administration, with the Trump administration, and endorsing Trump. She publicly said it. So
I understand.
Okay,
I know,
so
but
the optics don't look. You don't. Okay, let me. Mel, hold on a second.
Optics.
Let me. You talked for like 3 minutes. Let me address my points. There is enough smoking gun there that the Democrats are going to do what the Democrats always do, and they're going to make this a litigation against Trump. They're going to call for quid. You know what's going to happen. But here's the thing. There's people out there that are saying that Donald Trump is a Democrat. Was a Democrat. Okay, you guys really need to research. Because this gets exhausting. You can go back to Oprah, 1987. Donald Trump gives a full-blown interview talking about Ronald Reagan. From 87 to 99, he was a registered Republican, 100%. Then he had a 2-year stint with the Reform Party, and that was like 1990, 2001. After 2001 happened, he rallied around after 9/11 and became a registered Democrat. Because in New York City, it was good business to do so. And also after 9/11, all the businesses were impacted, and he rallied around the leader. 2009, he left, and he registered, I believe, as a Republican again. And that was like for 3 years or so. Hold on, please.
Yeah, just have a question.
Then 2011 to 2012, or I think it was 12, he became an independent for a short period of time. And that's where a lot of the boomer and the birther stuff came out. And since 2012 till now, he has been 100% a Republican. He has been a Republican more than a Democrat and any other party. He donated to Hillary Clinton's campaign. He made nice with the Democrats because they were in power. All of those things are absolutely true. But he was always a blue-collar Reagan Democrat, and his policies since 2012 have been a Reagan blue-collar Democrat. So when people say Donald Trump was a Democrat, that is completely smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
And it frustrates me when people say that. So let's get our facts straight. For a very small period of time after the Twin Towers were brought down, Pentagon was hit, and a flight went down in Maryland, New York took a hit, and Donald Trump rallied around, in 2001, the leadership. That's what he did. Rallied around Bush, but registered as a Democrat. Democrats were taking over. You had Giuliani who got out. A lot of things were changing. And Trump did what Trump did. Whether he agreed with that or not, he was always a blue-collar Democrat, if at all. But he was always a Reagan Republican. Go ahead, Mel.
No, you're 1,000% correct, because I've researched and whatever, because I do this on my few minutes of off time going to find out about this guy. Like, because back in the day when I living in Canada and I sat on my TV going and watching old Blama and the Hope and Change, and I'm like, this guy's awesome. Like, I was just as a Canadian going and listening to like whatever, and I'm like, and listening to his bullshit. Like, now I know it's bullshit, whatever, but got swept up in the whole whatever going, yes, I told like this guy was just the new like whatever. And I went, and now I'm kicking myself in the head, the teeth, the whole whatever going, this, it was total and total crap. And that's what's happened to 99% of what happened in your country. Because if it infected this mind, and I'm really, as you've known over the year, like, I'm really very critical, like whatever. And I got swept up on the Hope and Change of the Obama, but like, yeah, I agree. There needed to be a change, and for both countries, like whatever. And it was just like, it was consuming. It was just absolutely consuming. And I don't condemn anybody who got swept up in that whole whatever, because I'm like, and then after many years of reflection going, oh crap, what the hell did I just whatever, and they've totally back to like whatever, like, no, finally figured out after it took the wow, and then the smoke and the fireworks and the whatever, all that shit, it was shit. It was, and everybody got swept up on it. What's the
name of
1,000%.
hold on a second. What's the name of RFK's vice president junior? I can't remember her name. Does anybody remember real quick?
I can look it up.
Somebody find out for me real quick. Listen, I want to say this again. I didn't say it wasn't a smart political move. I didn't say
no.
RFK coming over isn't going to help Trump. I never said any of those things. I said setting off fireworks and playing There Goes My Hero and treating him is, I think, sends the wrong message. I don't like baby killers. Okay?
No,
okay?
And I don't either, but I'm thinking it's his, well, I don't know what his team is doing or whatever, but to change the narrative from that crap that happened at the DNC to focus on some and change the narrative. I think this was all about like today, because it's been building up for 2 or 3 days before the end of the RNC or the DNC conference or convention or whatever that they call that fiasco was, but just to change the narrative. And I think that's what this is all about. Like, it's not, I don't think because Donald never bought into RFK's shit before. I don't think he's going to buy into it now. And just that little thing of he's going to open up a committee or whatever for assassinations on presidents to placate whatever RFK's, whatever, like, it's a fabricated thing. It's all right now political smoke and mirrors to get to November the 5th. Like, this is just, it's just going to be a shit show.
Well, really right, but Mel, it doesn't.
His legal
Mel,
team is not going
Mel,
to
it doesn't mean I'm not going to comment on it. Of course, I mean I got to comment on it, right?
Her name is Nicole Shanahan.
I know, Nicole Shanahan. Yeah, but thank you. I've got to comment on it, right? Even though it's a shit show and even though it's all smoke and mirrors and it's I still got to comment on it. And my point still holds true. I just would not have received RFK that way. Like, well, in my opinion, nobody should upstage Donald Trump. Donald Trump doesn't have fireworks and pyrotechnics going off when he arrives. He doesn't have "Here Goes My Hero" when he is the former president of the United States. The most important person in that arena is Donald J. Trump, not RFK. And I don't believe you should give anyone that much power. I think no one should voluntarily do that. I think Trump should have thanked him, shook his hand, embraced him, waved, took a photo, and then got him off the stage. That's my personal opinion. And move him on. He didn't do that when he got Vivek's endorsement. And I just got a downvote. How can I get a downvote over this? Did he do that for Vivek? Did he do it for Ron DeSantis? Did he do it for Tim Scott? Did he do it for Byron Donalds? Did he do it for anybody else? No. Why RFK? And honestly, didn't do it for Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley had a hell of a lot more votes and would have given him a hell of a lot more. Why make that grandiose statement towards RFK? It's just a question. I don't know. And nobody can seem to answer it except for we need to work together. That's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to understand why somebody who has espoused for their entire life about transgender rights and not having a platform on kids being educated about sexual deviance and books and rainbow flags and not having an opinion on it and staying, Pasadena talking about gun confiscation and banning the AR-15, giving praise to Beto O'Rourke and his policy, and agreeing with late-term abortion. I don't think that person should get fireworks. I guess I won't convince anybody, and that's okay, guys. We can disagree on this, but to me, I don't know. I don't agree with it. That's it. I can't find Shanahan's statement. I'll dig it up for everybody. But this exists, right? Where she was like, big news coming out. It looks like we're gonna, endorse Donald Trump and talking about administrative position and and all that stuff. Did you read that?
And I did, and I went,
okay. Okay, good. So,
there's things going on, but like I said, that whole fireworks thing was just a slam to the DNC going, okay, I don't believe that Donald J. Trump is, he's like, okay, we need, because he's listening to people. I don't know if they're good people or they're advising him correctly. But I'm thinking it was just to transition from that shit show from DNC to, okay, this is how this is going to roll now. We only have so many days, and it's days now. Like, it's just
right. And we're still not picking apart. I haven't heard Trump literally pick apart every single policy that she has, which is none. Every single conversation should be about Kamala Harris. It should not be about RFK. It should not be about Bono. It should not be about the UFC. It should not be about Elon Musk. It should be about your opponent. She is leading.
Yes. And that's what should be from now till November the 5th. You take her and Biden's whatever, because she's still attached to it. You just hammer it. Take the personalities out of, like, whatever, just hammer the policies. Hammer the policies. Put it up on your websites. Put it out to whatever. That's all it should be, is policies. Because they want to take away everything that you have. And now with this newest thing, this capital gain, the unrealized.
We're losing you, Mel. Mel, we're losing you, kiddo. Give us a call back and reconnect. You're cutting in and out. Call me back.
Sorry.
Call me back. Listen, folks. Okay, I got to put this to bed because I want to make love to my wife and enjoy my weekend. But to me, these shows are the most important thing that we do, and this is work. And I'm not going to leave when we're not settled. Mel, hold on. I want to read this real quick. Karen says, watch his national address. He never talked about being a part of Trump's administration, never stated verbatim that he endorses Trump. There is no legal standing until he has an official offer. He can still be voted for this year's ballot. Trump and RFK are unifying people. RFK knows what needs to be done so the DNC can't continue with its progressive brain rot ideals. I agree with everything you just said. You didn't mention anything about fireworks, and there goes my hero. Phoebe, you have a beautiful mind. You have an intelligent mind, but I know you're talking to Karen, but you've said it to me as well. You're not addressing my points. Do we believe that it was a little over the top for RFK and that can be used against him based upon some things that have been said by the VP, the things that have been said by RFK, phone calls that have taken place that are on Trump's, Truth Social, and comments that could be misconstrued as quid pro quo? And that is most assuredly against the law. You cannot offer an administrative position. Now, this is how it's done. Olivia,
Yes.
I've heard that you might be thinking of endorsing Kamala Harris. Say yes.
Yes.
Well, that's unfortunate because I believe my policies are much better. In fact, I had envisioned you being with me on the day that on the State of the Union or the day that I'm sworn in on the Capitol steps that you would be there with me 100%. And I could see you there. I could see you in an office and working on something that's passionate about you, maybe education and kids. I would love to see you in that. What's it going to take for you and I to come together on our differences so you can be with me? Now that is fine. But the moment that you say, I've got a position for RFK in my cabinet and my administration, same thing he said to Nikki Haley. Guys, he said it on national TV to Nikki Haley. He said, Nikki Haley's endorsed me. We got a place for her. We got a place for her on my administration now that she's come around. That's what he said. You can't say that. Now, Matt, who cares? Nobody cares. They care. And the American people don't research these things. Tim Pool and I had to be on the same page on this. Melanie, tell me Tim Pool and I agree.
Exactly, 1,000%.
Say, of course, Tim Pool and I agree. Why Tim Pool and I have not worked together, I don't know. But he and I see things that other people don't for some reason. But Tim Pool and I agree more than just about anybody. It's weird. Every time, because somebody just said, well, Tim Pool has the thing from the VP. I'm like, well, if he has the tweet from the VP, then he's saying the same thing I am. He has to be. We need to be cautious. The whole reason Trump's failure in 2020 was because he trusted people that could not be trusted. He put John Bolton in place. Remember his position hires? Does anyone actually look at who he's hired? Do you remember his first attorney general? Do you know he gave Fauci a Presidential Medal of Freedom? Folks, Trump has made bad decisions and surrounded himself with people who did him harm. We don't want that to happen again. And I'm not saying RFK is going to do that. What I'm saying is that the way this was handled, and it looks like quid pro quo, that's not going to help him. And it's not going to make this easier. There was a way to do this, and I felt it was overblown. That's it. Mel, put a bow on this so we can go, and then Olivia can say her thing. And by the way, Trump was not an old school Democrat with Reagan. He was a registered Republican. I'm not going to get into this conversation, Kyung. I've just given you proof. I've given you the timeline of his registration records. That's it. Yeah. It's over. My comments are right. You're wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know why you keep doing this with me. But I've just given you factual data. I've just given you factual research data from one of my shows I've already done. You're not right, bud. That's it. He's been a registered Republican or an independent or the Reform Party more than a Democrat. He was with the Democrat Party for a blip, like 9 years after 9/11, and he's explained it multiple times. He donated to Hillary's campaign. He did. But he was resistant against Obama, and he stayed with them. But he was not an Obama fan. Okay, 2006. He was not talking nice things about Obama in 2009. He didn't say some nice things about Bush either, but he was upset with Bush because of what happened. And he has every right. He wasn't for the war. Mel, put a bow on this for me.
Well, I have researched this dude for quite some time now, over the last 4+ years. And I'm saying he's never been a Democrat in the air fingers quote Democrat world. He's always been a conservative. He's always been for the people. It's not, he's a business about the country. And for Oprah to stand up now at that stupid conference going, Oprah was the one going, we need to do this. You need to be president. And for her to stand up the other day going, oh, well, no, just kidding. I'm like, no, Oprah did this a long, long time ago. So
She's been on. She's been in every DNC for the last like 25 years. Damn it, Mel, you're breaking up. I gotta let you go, kid. Your connection is dog poop. I love when you call, and I love everybody's comments. Mel, we love you. If you heard us and watch this, I'm sorry. You're now like out. Cannot hear you at all. We love you. Listen, I want to say some things. Kyung, you're so smart. Sometimes you're too smart for your own damn good. I'm not going to say it unless I have proof. Okay, that's just the way I do it. The one thing that I can't say is verbatim what VP said for RFK. Shanahan, right? Is that her name, Liv?
Yes.
I can't tell you exactly verbatim, so I'm not going to. And I can't tell you exactly verbatim what Trump said. I came ill prepared because I didn't expect this to go this way. I expect people to be like, you're right, dude. That was way too extravagant, but I didn't see it live. I may feel differently tomorrow. And if I do, you can rely on one thing about me is that I'll correct myself and say, you know what? It ain't that big of a deal. Donald Trump should have fireworks. Donald Trump should have There Goes My Hero. Donald Trump should retell his successes and why he was an amazing president for us for 2016 to about 2019. And then the last year didn't go too well. He needs to address those things because it's going to be in the debate. He's got to talk about the vaccine. He's got to talk about the lockdown measures. He's got to talk about bump stocks. He's got to talk about tariffs. They're gonna crucify him with those things. He's got to get it out there. He's got to address it. He's not addressing it. So I'm not being critical. I'm not going down and hurting Trump. I'm saying the numbers aren't good and there's only one way to turn it around. She's selling joy. You have to sell facts. And you've got to remind people, but she is somehow making the United States forget the last 4 years. And that is I told you it's going to be the hardest thing for them to do. All Trump has to do is consistently remind them that they're poor, they're less safe, that the world is in a dangerous place. And if you do that, she's going to lose. Nobody's doing that. Okay. Now, Liv?
Yes.
Amy Stancombe is playing fake news. She said Taylor Swift endorsed Trump. No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. And then she came back and said, no, she didn't.
You can't do that. There's no, like, I saw that. I'm like, that is the biggest bullshit fake news I've ever seen in my life. Mel, don't be sorry. It was an amazing conversation. Listen, Phoebe, I really appreciate you leaving comments. Kyung, I appreciate you leaving comments. Melanie, I appreciate you leaving comments. I love what you guys do. I love that you challenge me. I'm not upset. I just want to make sure that Donald Trump is protected at all costs. He surrounds himself with people who are the smartest and the best. And I just don't know if RFK is worth 2.5%. Maybe he is. But if you guys here's my last question of the night and we're done. If you guys are so up on and RFK, late term abortion in the past has been wishy-washy on transgender rights and kids and education in the schools and gun confiscation and taxing the rich. All of these things are him. Raising of the minimum wage. This is RFK. Go look at his beliefs over the last 20 years. Now, if you're so excited for that at 2.5%, why were you so damn hard on Nikki Haley, who's going to give you 19 to 23%? Why did I have to fight you so hard on her? If it's all about the percentage and it's all about the votes and it's all about unifying the party, then why were you so against Nikki Haley, who is 1 million times better than RFK as far as her policies and has a track record to prove it? Because, guys and girls, I think we do not look at things under a microscope enough. I didn't say it wasn't you, Chris. I'm asking the people who are against Haley. And if you're not against Haley, then, hey, not talking to you. It's not about you. Put yourself away. If you're like, I wanted Haley as vice president, good, okay. But I will tell you that 99% of my listeners 2 years ago hated me for saying it. 1 year ago, well, they disagree with me. 1 year ago, they hated me. 6 months ago, I lost viewers for saying Nikki Haley should be the VP. And only for the reason that her numbers were unbelievable. That's all. Kyung, you're amazing. You're loved. All right, Debbie, that's all I got. Liv, do you have anything?
Nope.
I want to thank you. You're amazing. Olivia works all week long. She busts her hump. She is exhausted at the end of the day because what she has to deal with.
I get up at 6 a.m.
She comes, well, you're not the only one, but I take a nap in the middle of the day, so that's not fair. But you were amazing. And last night, everyone's like, Olivia talks. Oh my God. And she was, I love it when you contribute. I just know there's times where you're like, you know, you do one of the best jobs because you focus on every social media channel. You keep people engaged. You talk to them. You got Maga to come back and he didn't call you a fag this time. You don't have the plumbing, by the way, to be a fag. But I just want to say thank you and I love you and I'm excited to have the weekend with you. And I'm sorry that I went so late tonight. I'm very sorry.
You can take me out to breakfast tomorrow.
Ooh, I always love our
and
breakfast.
then second breakfast.
Second breakfast. Does anyone want to tell her what second breakfast is? You want to tell everybody what second breakfast? Okay. Laura Robinette gets last comment of the night. I'm stopping with that. I'm putting a pin in it. RFK speech today dropping out was amazing. It was very good. There's no doubt. The pivots were fantastic. It was amazing. I loved it. That's not my problem. I don't like the fireworks and I don't like the music. But anyway, he drilled the Dems and he gave numbers on all versus the diseases that our kids have now. Now people change his beliefs and be sincere. It'd be great. I like Haley, but she likes war too much. It's funny. Nikki Haley has never voted for a war in her life. Never been responsible for a war in her life. Never went to war as governor or ambassador. I don't know that she likes war too much. I believe that she thinks that we've spent $175 billion in Ukraine and we need to have an exit strategy. I believe she believes in funding Israel like most Republicans do. And I believe she said some horribly stupid shit about special operations getting in war with cartel. I think that is a death trap for our boys. So I don't think she likes war. I think she talked about it and shouldn't. So you and I agree, Laura. But she still was an amazing candidate, and she should be on the ticket. And Kamala wouldn't be there. There's no way they would have put Kamala against Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley would eat her for lunch. And she's a real minority who doesn't pretend she's one color, depending upon what state she's in. All right. I had fun. Did I miss the podcast? No. I love when Olivia contributes. Matt, go give your wife a foot massage.
You heard what he said last night, right?
You have no idea. You just don't even. Okay. Olivia, you are 1 in a million. Then why the heck was she signing nukes? Then why the heck was she signing nukes? Nukes? Liv, jump off. I gotta set Phoebe straight here for a minute.
Okay.
I love you.
Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
See you tomorrow.
Phoebe.
Or Monday.
Thank you, honey. Phoebe. First of all, she wasn't signing nuclear bombs. Okay. Number one. That's a ridiculous comment. She was signing GBUs and laser guided. And I would too. I don't love war, but you know what I don't like? I don't like terrorists. And I have spent a life fighting two things in my life: terrorism and Russia, predominantly communist countries. Gaza is not a state. Palestine is not a country. Gaza is a territory inside Israel. The border that surrounds Gaza and the fencing isn't to keep them in. It's to keep them from attacking Israel. These people took 75,000 work permits, surveyed Israel, studied its weaknesses, found a way to infiltrate and kill innocent people. We did more for 21 years in Afghanistan over something that, although 9/11 was completely horrific and terrible and horrible for those people to die, the cruelty, the dismemberment, rape, gutting people. People say that killing babies didn't happen. I will tell you firsthand that every terrorist group disembowels pregnant women and then mutilates the fetus. They will remove genitalia from men. They will decapitate them and put their heads on pikes. They will bury them in the sand up to their neck and allow scorpions and all other types of birds to eat their eyes and face off. They will put them in cages and dunk them under water of fecal matter. They are the worst human beings, and they're not even human beings. I don't care that Nikki Haley signed bombs. In fact, good for her. I would love to sign a few, and it's not like I haven't. That is a tradition that goes back way back to WW2. And you can read the etymology of this when it comes back to Nagasaki and Hiroshima. And it happened in Vietnam, and it happened in Iraq. And when we put in tomahawks into certain areas across the Middle East, I'm not saying that anyone should celebrate war, but there are times when reactions are justified. And I don't blame Nikki Haley for signing a bomb. I don't care. I happen to believe that nation building is a waste of time. Being a police state is a waste of time. But I do believe that American presence in the world is absolutely paramount and has created peace since World War II because of it, not in spite of it. I don't believe in endless proxy wars. I don't believe the government using us for political positions to gain favor or to gain a discount or to gain a positive trade is the right thing to do. But I do believe that having bases all over the strategic waters of the world and major territories of the 7 major superpowers, minor powers, and 3.5 major superpowers has kept peace in the world. And NATO, most assuredly, has done that. Trump just said he wants them to pay their fair share. And they have paid more than they ever have. Nikki Haley's not a warmonger. Nikki Haley can relate to it because her husband is overseas serving. Now, people have come out and said horrible things, that she cheated on her husband and all this other stuff. Listen, marriage is complicated. Relationships are complicated. And I'm not here to go to church with Nikki Haley. What I'm saying is actually, I don't even love Nikki Haley. I think she has neoconservative beliefs. What I do care about is that women like her, especially moderates. College-educated men like her. And I love the fact that she would deliver New Hampshire, Virginia, and Pennsylvania if she was on the ticket. And that is a winning makeup for Donald Trump. New Hampshire, Sununu would absolutely back her up, and New Hampshire would go right to Haley. Those 4 votes are going to be important. And then Virginia, Trump is still leading in Virginia. I don't think Kamala is going to take Virginia. And if Virginia goes, then so goes Pennsylvania. Haley would have shored that up. I don't root for sports teams. I don't care what color shoes and clothes she wears and what her mascot is. I care about votes. And as I question why we're celebrating 2.5% and maybe half goes to Trump, maybe it doesn't. We don't know. That's a gamble. What you do know is that 19 to 23% that Nikki Haley had, even in Texas, you have to assume that at least 10% of that goes to Trump, and that's the election. Because that equates to 3 million votes. And that's going to be in swing states, and that's going to be in pivotal states like Georgia, like Virginia, like Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania. That's a safe bet. And I didn't see any fireworks for her. Nikki Haley is pissed. DeSantis is pissed. Because you only get called DeSanctimonious so many times. You only get insulted so many times. You only get called bird brain so many times. And I'm sorry, but everyone's saying we need to come together. We need to come together as a party. When for the last 18 months, we have done nothing like that except tear each other down and destroy Republicans. Candace Owens against Ben Shapiro. PPD podcasts going against others. People ripping apart Tim Pool, Nick Fuentes, and Ye coming over there and ripping apart Tim Pool, who has done nothing but tell the truth. You've got politicians ripping each other apart. You got inner turmoil between the Freedom Caucus and the regular conservatives. People saying neocons, uniparty, Democrats, socialists. All we've been doing is tearing each other down. And now we want to come together because now it's 90 days until the election. I don't know. But I don't consider Nikki Haley a warmonger when she was a governor and a UN ambassador. And if she would have orchestrated any war in the UN, it's actually a war crime. As a UN ambassador, you have to have the best interests of the collective nations and your country. And for her to use her power as a UN ambassador to create or proxy a war, she would have broken international law. So that didn't happen. And I'm pretty sure she didn't run a war from being a governor. So although she may have said stupid things, and she did, everyone does. So did RFK, and still he had fireworks, and there goes my hero. And I rest my point. Thanks, folks, for having a good time with me. Finishing up my comments. All right, I'm done. I like Tim Pool too, Tori. I think Tim's a good dude. And you know what? He lives like 6 miles from me. I could throw a rock at his house. I gotta find a way to reach out to him because I would love to have him on. Just chat with him. Listen, everybody. I hope nobody took offense. I hope nobody got upset. Phoebe, I think you're brilliant, and I love that you have an opinion. I just wanted to argue with you a little bit. Kyung, as always, mutual respect. Michelle, you're awesome. Anyone else? I love you too. Christine says, personally, I don't think that is what it takes. I think it takes neighbors talking to neighbors and creating a community again, not just the rush of life, but truly to connect to people. I couldn't have said it better myself. I think we need to talk to each other a hell of a lot more because we're not that far apart. All right, everybody. God bless. I'm going to have a good weekend. You do too. I'm going to make sure I've got that video that I recorded today. I'll put it out tomorrow. And thank you guys so much for staying with me tonight. Thank you for your donations. $2,900. We're really close. $600 away. It looks like we have a really good chance of hitting it. Thank you for everything you guys do for us. I appreciate you. And remember, if you got offended tonight, rub some dirt on it, or you can email me or call me and let me know. And I promise you, we can have a talk about it. Good night, everybody. God bless. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me show. Oh, go to wimkin.com. Wimkin.com, right down there. 9 million people. Social media company, all about free speech. All you got to do is put in your email and put in your username. Now, Google, Comcast, Yahoo, they will not send you registration for Wimkin because Wimkin has been blackballed by all the social media companies. But there's free speech going on there, and there's good people on there, and it is a great company. And not only am I a client, we are stockholders in the company. And Jason calls us, partial partners and owners, and we take that very seriously. Amy Stancombe, a moderator, owns stock now. Leroy, Amy Robinson, and my wife and I all own stock in Wimkin. And we go there every day and we post all of our videos over there. If you haven't had a chance, go on over there and register. And I promise you it's something different. There's something special going on over there. And it just takes you to make it even more special. Remember, the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just that little extra. God, that was corny. Good night.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The DUM Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree, just don't unfriend me.